Hey folks, thanks for joining in. I see some other folks are joining in as well. Thanks for joining in early. I'm just getting things set up. We'll probably get it started in like just around 10 minutes. Hang in there, grab some tea. I got mine over here, and yeah, I'll just kind of work quietly in the background and get things set up for us. Oh my goodness. Also, please feel free to go off mute, say hi, share your camera, all the good stuff. It's going to be a pretty tight and, you know, close group and workshop.
You?
Hello. Kevin. Hey, Kevin, we can't hear you. I mean, I totally, please feel free to stay off mute, but just wanted to give you a heads up.
Oh.
Could I do a quick check, guys? Can you hear and see my slides? If you can say yes in the chat, that would be great. Can you hear me and see the slides? Awesome. Thanks, Henry. All right, everything should be set up. All right, we'll get started in just a minute or so. All right, let me get started. We'll let people join in. Usually people just join in a couple minutes late. So I'll kind of slowly go through introductions and the format and let people join in. But happy Saturday. Thanks for joining our workshop. Thanks for giving us your Saturday morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. hopefully this would be a pretty engaging and informative workshop around data engineering for you guys. We've just actually changed the format of the workshop, so I'm fairly excited to try this new format. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of feedback format at the end to leave for us, but thanks again for joining. Usually our workshops, just FYI, it's a very closed, personal. So we really encourage everybody to go off, mute, share your video, really get, get that group feeling. It's pretty casual here. I'm sitting here in my t-shirt and pajamas. It's our weekend Saturday, so feel free to share. Feel free to speak out. This is meant to be a really engaging session. If you don't, that's okay too. But again, thanks for being here. A little bit of introduction. Oh, by the way, before I forget, actually, I will start recording with your permission. If that's okay, the recording's mostly for our archival. We go over it, look over, and kind of use it, for our own feedback. I'm also live streaming on YouTube. If anybody has an issue with that, please let me know over chat. I can stop that. It's not a big deal. But just wanted to let you guys know that we are recording and live streaming on YouTube. And with that, let me resume recording now. All right. Again, thanks for being here. So a quick introduction about myself. I'm Param Parvizi, or a lot of friends call me Par. Have been a programmer / data engineer before, I guess data engineering was really a term, for about 20 years. I taught myself programming when I was a teenager. I lived near a mall that had Barnes and Nobles. I don't know if any of you guys remember those. I used to just ride my bicycle over there and like read books, and I leave like little bookmarks in the books and come back and go back the next day. I don't think you were supposed to do that, but everybody did that. This was like, I mean, internet was definitely there, but there wasn't so much on internet. So I really had to like write back whenever I had an issue, like look something up in the book and go back to my room. Yeah, I actually went to school for data engineering, for engineering itself, computer engineering, and then but I didn't really work in hardware for too long. I really started in software. I've worked for some big Silicon Valley companies in the past, and I just got really lucky in my career. I just kind of got connected with startups at the right time, and then they flourished. Also, Sumi, you ask where this Barnes and Nobles was in Delaware. Not a whole lot of people people know where Delaware is, but North Wilmington, Delaware. That's where this Barnes and Nobles was. Hopefully that's your question and that answered that. Thanks for engaging, by the way, as well. In 2016, I broke off and started my own data consulting company. We're still somewhat doing that, but in 2021, I launched Data Academy, which is a data engineering education and bootcamp school. I was also supposed to have my great colleague here, Alma, with me today. Alma's fantastic. She's my partner, also instructor, my fourth partner and also instructor. Unfortunately, Alma came down with COVID, so she can't be here. I would have really liked you guys to meet her, but that's the time that we live in, unfortunately. So I told you guys that this is a new workshop format, and we're testing this out, and I hope this would be, you guys find this exciting. Worked all week on this, so hopefully it will pay off. The way we're gonna do this, I'm gonna share right now a Google Drive format for you guys. And let me copy and paste that into the chat window. This Google Drive folder has everything that you guys going to need for today's workshop. It also has the slides that I'm sharing right now, and it has a series of lessons. And let's take a look at that really quick. Let let me share that here. So the Google Drive folder that I sent you is this. There's the slides. There's a little bit of instructions. Same slide actually you're seeing right now. But the lessons are in this lesson format. And they are in what is called Google Collaboratory notebooks. Let's open the first one. The first one actually teaches us how to work with Google Colab. Google Colab is like a browser-based coding environment. What's really nice about it that it can have like text and images and instructions, but it also has these little code cells. These are actually live code cells, so we can edit these and run them live. Now, the only trick with this is that you need your own Google account. So if you have zoom in on the screen. Sorry, one question. Sumi says, zoom in on the screen. Yes, I can zoom in on the screen. And actually, that's part of the instructions here. The only trick on this is that you have to copy them to your own drive. So logging your browser, just log in. If you have a Google account, log into your Google account, open this link once your browser is actually logged into your Google account. And then to copy a notebook and be able to save your edits, go to File, Save a Copy in Drive. That saves a copy of this to your own drive, and then you can actually save your edits. If you don't have a Google account or you don't want to do this, that's okay. You can still do everything. You can still run the code. You can still have all the fun. You just won't be able to save and come back to the edits later. That is up in open in playground mode. So if you don't have a Google account, once you click on the link, you can say open in playground mode, and that just enables you to do everything without being able to save. Now, oh, we added a code cell here. Let me actually delete this. I did not mean to do this. Okay. So open these up. Now, the thing is, follow the instructions in the order that they're represented. So you can start from 1, go to 2, go to 3, go to 4, etc. Now there's lessons. The lessons really teach us something about Python, and there's little stories mixed in here. The stories are about data engineering. They cover data engineering topics. They're supposed to be just a read through, so you can read. They give you a lot of resources, a lot of links to other websites that you can follow. And as we do this, we are going to break out into breakout rooms. So we're going to team up with a partner. Every room probably would have 2 or 3 people in there. We just follow the instructions kind of within our group. We do 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, we come back into the main room. We ask some questions. I'm going to hover around the main room. So you can always come to the main room, ask me questions. I'll also kind of loop through the breakout rooms, make sure there's no questions, and really engage you to engage with each other in your group, share your screen, talk to each other, engage. And to make this a little more exciting, there are opportunities to earn points as you do this. So in the lesson, as you go through the lessons, you'll see the little messages like you've earned 1 point. This is points for your group. Now I'm going to share the link for this platform that keeps track of scores for the teams. So we got room 1, room 2, room 3, room 4, and that's the link. Can somebody click on that link and just make sure they can see it and adjust the score? Maybe give a score to room 6 if you like. And just give me a thumbs up or a yes on the chat, please. All right. Any questions regarding the instructions? You're not really supposed, I mean, you probably will finish, but if you don't finish, if you run out of time, that's okay. All the material is yours. You know, just do it at your own time. We're not really going for the win here. It's more about the, you know, the material and the content. All right. So without any further ado, we're going to do our first session. And in this first session, you're expected to kind of go through lessons 1, 2, 3. All right, so about 20 minutes in your group, and you expect it to finish to about lesson 3. Again, if you run out of time, that's completely okay. And, we can come back to it later. So I covered kind of lesson 1. Lesson 1 just kind of goes over how to work with a Collab notebook, how to read these instructions, how to edit the text, etc., edit the code. Lesson 2, I'll go over. And before I do this, I see that still there's an issue with seeing my screen. Can everybody see my screen like fully, or is it chopped off for people? Okay, I see Austin can see fine. Thanks, Austin, and thanks for joining. Great to see you here. Kevin has some issues.
Yeah, I'm having some issues on my end, so I'll log off and then come back and see if I can figure something out here.
Okay, is that? I mean, if that seems like maybe it's consistent for some other folks too. So maybe it's something.
Oh yeah. Who knows? I got choppy audio, and well, I'll see what I can do.
Okay, all right, Kevin. No worries. All right.
All right.
So in lesson 2, I'll just go over it really quick, but it's basic Python skills. One of the most important Python statements, the print statement. It does exactly what it says. It prints a message to the screen. And this is just show you how you edit Python code. So, hello, this is my first Python code. And to run this, you click this little run button. And once you do this, it takes a little bit for the first time, because what is happening in Collab is like starting a coding environment actually for you. And it will say, hello, this is my first Python code. So when you run that code, you see the result right below it. Statements in Pythons are a line of code. They kind of execute top to bottom. So this first line, and you see the line numbers here, executes before line 3. You can run it and you can see that things get printed in the same order that they're instructed or they're written in. There's a little exercises here and there. So this is your opportunity to finish the code. There's little prompts, this green text, which are called comments. You learn these and just read the comments, finish the exercise, see if you can finish the code, this prompt, that what it tells you to do. Once you go through this, run it with your team, you get the points. When you get a point, you can switch over to our scoreboard and give yourself a little point. Hey, room 1. We're gonna kind of backtrack you here. I know it's a little bit honor system, guys. Don't keep yourself point before you're starting or in your rooms, all right? It's supposed to start off everybody at 0. All right. Without any further ado, let me open up the rooms and we'll assign you to your rooms. And you work as a team, give yourself points on your room. And I am gonna open the breakout rooms. Okay, I will randomly assign you to the breakout rooms. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's make 4 rooms. Okay, everybody is going to be assigned into the rooms. We have actually exactly 2 people per room. If other people join, I'll just put them in one of the rooms. We're going to do about 20 minutes. Once you join your room, share your camera, talk to each other as much as you like, and go through the lessons. Start with lesson 1, go up to 2 and 3. All right, guys. Good luck. So now, please join your room. we'll meet back here in 20 minutes, and that's 10, right around 10:35 here on the West Coast. Hey guys on the main room, let me make sure everybody's assigned into rooms. Lucy, Kevin, I believe you guys are assigned to room 4. If you want to join that, go ahead. If you have any issues, let me know on the chat. But yeah, you're just welcome to kind of work in your own group, go through the exercises, give yourself little points on the scoreboard. We'll tally them up at the end. They mean a lot. Yeah, let me know if you have questions. I'll hang around in the main room. Kevin, I know you have some issues, so I'll let you join as you like. Lindsay, I believe you're in room 1. If you want to change room, that's completely fine too. Hi, Nora. I see you joined a little late. Oh, and I lost you. Never mind. Hi, Henry, please.
Hi, I'm on lesson 2
Sure.
to print a my dog, my underscore dog name. I give a string name, but for some reason I couldn't print out.
Sure.
Let
You
me
wanna?
share my screen. Share my screen. I cannot. Can you give me a?
Yeah, I can. Let me.
Let me share.
You should be
Yeah,
able.
I can share now.
You
I
should
can
be able to
share now.
share.
So let me know if you can see my screen.
Yeah, I can see your screen.
So I give a number to B and C,
Uh-huh.
and on the last line I give a string
Yeah.
to my dog name. For some reason, and for this one I
So
do.
it's notebooks supposed to be run top to bottom. What you haven't done
Okay.
is just run that top cell yet, so that my dog is not like defined, like the cell on top, the
Sound.
one right above that, the one that you're writing,
Oh,
where you
so
actually define.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh, so I need to
this one.
define this one to
So just
here, right?
yeah, if
Is
you
that
move it there, it works as well. Yeah, or you could have just pressed the
okay?
run button on that top one and then
I
press the run
got
button
it.
on the bottom one. Yeah.
Got it. So every time, okay, I'll run it. Oh, I see. Run this one, give it the value to this guy, and then run this one. Ah, I got it. That's the reason. Okay.
It's
All
just
right.
they're supposed to be like top to bottom
Got
run all yeah,
it.
all the time. So just
I
if
got
you have
it.
weird
I
issues like that, is you haven't run the top one.
yeah, I didn't run this one. I thought the notebook take the value and then already give this one. So every time I run this one, okay,
Yeah,
got it, got it, got it, got it. I
yeah,
give
because
it the value, but I didn't run it. Okay,
exactly, yeah.
got
Yeah.
it. Okay.
They
All right,
look
thank
for
you.
they look for things like before them, and you can kind of see that. Do you see that little curly bracket with X in the middle on the left? That little icon. It's above like a folder looking icon, all the way to the left.
Okay,
And there's
it's
like,
like
yeah,
this one.
that's that one. If you click on that one, that shows you like the variables that are defined. Like these are the things that are like when you run a cell, you can access. So if you haven't
Okay,
like forgot to run something on top, then you wouldn't see that here,
I
if that
see.
makes sense. And then there's like
I see.
some little handy icons there too. The one two above that is like it's like
This
a
one.
table of content. I kind of like that too. So you can kind of just
Okay,
jump across like different sections of the notebook.
okay, okay. What is the benefits of this notebook compared with the IDE like what do you call the IntelliJ and other?
I really like personally, actually, we're gonna cover this in a second. I really like VS Code. This
Okay,
the benefit right now for us is that it's just browser based. So like in a
okay,
workshop, you don't have to install everything. So we don't have to like
I see.
everybody's got like Python installed, everybody's got an ID installed like that. Yeah. Good
Okay,
question.
okay, all right, got it. This is just for to save some time to install the set up the environment. Okay, all right, easy to
Good.
navigate. Okay, all right, thanks. I'll continue.
Okay, perfect. I'm actually gonna
Uh,
close the breakout rooms in a second here.
okay,
All right.
all right. Mhm.
All right, I'm closing the breakout rooms. Everybody's gonna join back in the main room in a second and share my screen again. Just wait for Danielle and M to join back here. right, I think it's only Danielle, and everybody should be back in the main room. Hey guys, welcome back to the main room. Let me continue record. Yeah, welcome back from the breakout rooms, from the little workshop. Hopefully you guys were able to get through it. Again, if you don't get through all of it, you have the material, no harm. You know, you can do it at your own pace and time. I want to make sure we follow up on any questions you have. So before I kind of do a few slides, tell you guys about some other data engineering topics. Any questions? Henry had a good question, which I think some of you guys might run into as well. I'm gonna get to that in a second. Sometimes if you get a weird error from running a cell, it's sometimes because you haven't run a cell above it. So again, remember in Notebook, it kind of expects you to actually click this run button top to down. So when you get to something like below, and if they're like referring to something that's defined on top, and you haven't ran that thing on top, then you might get an error. Just FYI, if you get a weird error, it's probably because you haven't ran something on top first. So in Notebooks, they expect you to kind of run things top to bottom. Any other questions? Do you guys have any issues so far? I take that as a good sign, or hopefully a good sign. Okay, so this is also part of the, there's actually a lesson on this, but really quick, I wanted to kind of give you guys some resources of like other places that you can hear about data engineering. There's a lesson, what is data engineering? Right there is a lesson 3. That's a really good one to kind of skim through, get to know what is data engineering, what is the day-to-day life of data engineering looks like, and really why, and really see the current demand. Data engineering is the fastest growing field in tech right now. It has the highest number of jobs, or the ratio of open actually positions to open applicants to those. That ratio is the best in tech right now, and it's just basic supply and demand. So you see actually the average salaries for data engineering is pretty high. Data engineers, I kind of like to describe them as like a marriage between like detectives and architects. Data engineering is the job to store and manage data and to make that available within a company. And so it's a little bit of like detective work where you're like finding the right piece of data, organizing it in the right way that could be informative later. And that's kind of like detective work, you're finding the needle in the haystack, sort of. But it's also like kind of like architect work where you're designing a system that can be used by other people, just like building a house. So you kind of like taking in how people would interact with data or space, and then you try to like design this space that other people would interact, or the data that people can see. Now, to read more about data engineering, some of the sources that I really like, just to get sort of this aggregate of daily news or weekly news or weekly resources, Google Alerts is a really great resource. You can just pick a search word like data engineering jobs, data engineering tutorials. You can do that for anything. And then you can say what level of aggregate you'd like to receive, so daily, weekly, and Google just sends you an email with like all new links, blogs, whatever there are about your search terms. I've set this up for data engineering. I get a little weekly email, and on my weekend, I just skim through it, see what's new out there. It's a great way to stay informed. The other one that I really like is Reddit. Subreddit has a really good active data engineering community. If you're not familiar with Reddit, Reddit is great. In my opinion, it's actually best part of internet, or high up there on my list on best part of internet. Hopefully you agree with me. I can just open that. This is the data engineering subreddit. You can see actually 75,000 data engineers here. There are beginners, anywhere from beginners or future data engineers. People who are thinking about this, to very senior data engineers here. It's a very live and active forum. You can see like this one actually has 175,000 likes. This is a data engineering Zoom camp that somebody posted, so people can follow that. You can ask just about any question here. There's questions about how to get started in the field, the skills you need to learn, and all the way to very technical questions, pretty much. The other resource here is Data Talks Club. This is a data engineering, this is actually a science resource. It is fantastic. This is a group, again, with like 35,000 strong members. They do a weekly newsletter, so a weekly summary of, again, what is going on around data engineering, data science. They also have this little mini Zoom camps, so little small workshops that are free that you can take. They do like book of the month. And they have a really good active Slack community. So that's great if you just have a question, you can go up, pop on Slack and just ask people, and it's fairly active. So another great resource here. I love these guys and what they're doing. There's also a data engineering podcast. This is more for like, I would say mid to senior level data engineers. But if a podcast, like an audio, format, is something that you like and you enjoy, this is probably a good thing to just get your ears familiar with a lot of the buzzwords, a lot of what's going on out there, a lot of new companies, etc., and tools. And of course, just data engineering tags on social media like LinkedIn, Eventbrite. There's a lot of free workshops out there, a lot of people posting. These things are also showing up on like TikTok and Instagram. And I would highly recommend you to join meetups, local meetup groups, as like COVID restrictions are kind of easing off. Hopefully, with caution. We're going back in person in meetups. That's a great way to actually get connected with someone, with professionals or other groups in your local area, and get in the community. I list a couple great Portland meetups here, but these meetups are pretty much available in any region. I'd like to also give you a quick hint of like setting up like your laptop or development machine for data engineering specifically. Data engineering is a demanding sort of process or application. A lot of times you're working with large amount of data, so you do need a relatively decent laptop to be able to handle the workload. I would highly recommend that you choose something equivalent of an Intel i7 chip or an AMD Ryzen 7 that has multiple cores that can really handle a workload and can give you like, a browser with like a bunch of tabs open as you're learning things, and then also executing, processes that are like dealing with data. Also at least 8 gig of RAM. I would probably actually lean towards 16. Again, you have a lot of things open. You need some memory to be able to switch back and forth between different workloads. But don't go buy, a MacBook Pro that has those specs. I mean, if you have the money, they're a nice piece of machine, but those things are like $3,000. With those sort of specs, you can get away with buying used laptops or used hardware. There's a lot of great resources out there that would have those sort of specs in the reused market space. And what you can do is install an operating system that is very fast and very efficient, like Linux or Ubuntu operating system. So you can install Ubuntu. I've been running Ubuntu for about 8 years now. I just love it. I've had no problem. And it's just great. A lot of software is also available. And Linux is sort of like the language of data engineers. A lot of servers, a lot of like cloud tools, they work in a sort of, they're based on a Linux environment. So it also gets you familiar with a Linux bash and a Linux terminal and how to work sort of these machines. It's very easy to install, just as easy as Windows, pretty much to install. As far as an IDE goes, so like a coding environment. And again, don't worry about taking a lot of these notes. You have these slides. There's links here that actually takes you to installation guide for any one of these. So just kind of follow as along. But as far as IDE goes, I would highly recommend VS Code. It's probably becoming the #1 coding tool for everybody. And IDE is like a text editor, a code editor. You need to install one on your system to be able to actually develop and run code. And VS Code is great, probably high on my list for a Microsoft tool. Don't tell Microsoft that. If you are running Windows, that is fantastic. Don't worry, a lot of people use Windows, but what I want to really encourage us to use a Linux-based or Bash terminal. And Windows actually has a feature that allows us to do that, and it's called WSL, Windows Subsystem for Linux. You can research it. There's a link here, but there's just few instructions to enable that on Windows. And after that, you actually have an underlying sort of Linux share or Linux environment running side by side right there on your Windows environment. And you can use that for development work. I highly, highly recommend that if you're using a Windows machine. Of course, you have to install Python. There's a lot of tools around Python that allows you to install other packages very easily. It's called pip and virtual environment. JupyterLab is something that allows you to run notebooks. What we're doing now today in the workshop, you can run that locally on your own machine. A lot of the files and notebooks that you see, those you can be downloaded and run if you have JupyterLab installed on your own machine. So these are some of the things that kind of base things that you want to get set up and installed on your machine in order to do real development work. A couple other tools, just going to throw them out here really quick. Git is like, it's like social media page for coder. As people like work on code, you can post your code on the cloud or on Git or GitHub, and then other people can view that. It's fantastic. You can actually view a lot of other people's project. I won't get into detail. That's something you probably want to install as well. And Docker it's becoming an industry standard. It's a great way to install other software on your machine without actually going through a lot of installation steps. So a lot of times, like, we work with databases or other tools that need to be installed, and Docker just makes that super, super easy. It's just one command without actually installing it. It like kind of runs software in a virtual environment on your machine that you can manage really easily. All right, I am going to stop talking and go back into the workshop mode. If you haven't finished the previous lessons, feel free to just start where you left off. Again, these are like kind of in order. If you have this next session, again, we're gonna like kind of go through a 20-minute session, 25-minute session, and we'll teach you about data types in Python. Again, a quick lesson, actually, what I just kind of went through with joining the conversations and lists. And I can go over those really quick with you guys, if you like. We're going to do things a little bit differently. I know a lot of the breakout rooms kind of have just 1 or 2 people in there. So if you guys all vote yes, we can just stay in the main room and kind of go off mute, work. If you have a question, you can go off mute and ask questions. If you're in favor of that, please give me a yes to stay in the main room. If you're favoring the breakout rooms, give me a yes, or say breakout, I guess, in the chat. Yeah, we can take a little quick vote. But as you decide on that, I will open the data types lesson. So in Python, in lesson 2, you see that things stored in variables. Variables is just like a label that you assign a value to, and then you can use them later on in code. Now, in Python, the variables have a data type based on the value or type of things that they store. And there are some main basic data types. There's numeric types to store numerical values. There's string type to store text values. There's Boolean, which is kind of like binary. They just store true or false or 0 or 1. And there's collections. Collections are fun. There's a whole lesson on them on their own. Collections are like a collection of other types or other variables. So it's like a collection, and they can hold multiple other things, which they're pretty fun. So numeric types are super easy. You've kind of seen this. There's two types: integer or whole values. So like 23, and then there's floats or decimal points, things that can have decimal points. Super straightforward. Strings are, again, pretty straightforward. They are enclosed by quotes, double quotes, or single quotes. They store text values. So anything that's in between the double quotes or single quote is a text value that we like to store. We can do little fun things like concatenate them together. So in this case, we have first and last name, and we concatenate those with a plus sign and a space in the middle. And then we can print that. Again, even the print statement here, as you see, has a concatenation. It says my full name is plus then the value of the full name variable, which itself is our first name plus in space and then plus the last name. So you can see what this will print once you run it. There's little exercises. There are these little fun things called F strings that you can insert the value of other variables inside other strings. And you can see kind of the syntax for that. So if you have a variable already defined like first name, you can use that variable inside another variable if you put an F in the beginning of a double quote and then the curly brackets. And then they will print. We'll go through defining like strings with multiple lines. There's little exercises to finish, opportunities to earn points. Boolean type, very straightforward. It's just true or false. They can have either one of those two values. There's arithmetic options. So you can do things to variable, like multiply them, add them together, etc. And we can go through those. The lesson after that goes through collections, which we specifically go through a specific part of collection, which is list. Lists are a list of other items. So they can hold more than one thing. In this case, this list holds 3 things: 1, 3, and 5. And the way they're defined is with little square brackets and commas between the items. And you can see what happens when you print this. So this variable, instead of holding one thing, holds 3 things. And we can see how we can access individual elements in those or add elements to that list. I'll let you guys get through this. I will stop talking now. And I think the vote is to stay in the main room. That's completely fine. We'll still keep track of the store. I think it's kind of a fun way. So room 3, I see they're ahead in the scoreboard. Again, this is honor system, guys. As you're finishing these lessons, there is these little chances to earn points. So once you get to that point, you can update your own count. Again, honor system. We still keep, in our rooms. So I have Henry and Lindsay in room 1. Austin is on herself in room 2, and Danielle and M are in room 3. I will let you guys go this. Actually, Steve, I think you've joined late. Why don't you join room 2 with Austin? So if you're following the instructions, whenever you get to a place that you can earn a point, you can go and update your score. Just FYI, if you scroll up, I posted the link for a Google Drive folder that has like all of these lessons in it. There's also a link for keeping the scoreboard. I'm going to share those again in a second. So it's just there. everybody can access it at the end of the chat. All right. I will go quiet and we will do 20 minutes, 25 minutes of exercises again. Feel free to go off mute, ask questions over the chat or, just over the Zoom. All right. Let me pause the recording. We'll share the main screen. So session 2. Let me share the Google Drive folder one more time. And the scoreboard.
Keeper, how do we go out for the breakout room? I was not able to log in back to the breakout room.
Yeah, I didn't open them this time because they were kind of like
Okay.
just one person per breakout room. So we thought we'd just like stay here. And
All right.
don't worry.
I'm okay.
Yeah. If that's okay with you, I can.
Yeah, I'm totally fine. Totally fine. I was just wondering, are we doing the same thing? No worries. Thank
Yeah.
you.
No worries. Hey folks, just resuming the session. Thanks for working on your own. Let me take a quick look at the scoreboard. I don't think it's changed much. I don't know if you guys been updating it. Yeah, let's resume. We can do the breakout rooms again, if that's a format that works for people. I will start. Let me resume the recording really quick. Again, if you didn't get to finish, don't worry. You have plenty of time. You have the material. You can just do it on your own. So yeah, welcome back from another session to the break. So hopefully you're following along. If you're somewhere in the middle, again, don't worry. You have time to finish things on your own. Let me continue with the slides here. What I want to share with you guys, and it's part of the slides. Again, don't worry, you have the links to this. Is a lot of great resources to go learn Python there. Python is by far the most popular programming language for data engineering, if not most popular programming language, period. I do think that Python is the best programming language for data engineering. It's designed for handling data, and it's very easy. It's also the best first programming language. Over the years of my career, just about worked with every programming language out there. I can't say that there's a lot, but with the main ones, and I like Python the best. It's also kind of fun fact, Python was named after Mighty Python, the British comedy series. So what a fun language to learn, where the creators had a sense of humor and named the programming language after a British dark humor comedy show called Mighty Python. There are a lot of great resources out there. I'm gonna list some of the resources that kind of might have gone unnoticed that I think are really the gems out there. First is Mosh YouTube video. It's about 6 hours long. It's a great weekend watch. What I like to do, I kind of like to dip my toes into something, before I go swimming, and YouTube is a way for me to do that. So whenever I want to learn something new, I kind of go on YouTube, find something that I can kind of follow along, go along, and see if it's for me. And Mosh, I think YouTube video is great for that. It's about 6 hours. You can break it out over a weekend, maybe a couple 3-hour sessions or few sessions during the week. That's a great way to kind of get started with Python and see if it's something for you. I highly encourage interactive learning and things that are broken into smaller chunks, so it's easier to manage. You can kind of work at your own pace, and they're interactive. Something that has a live coding session, live video session, and you can interact. So Scrimba, I think, is one of the best sources for that. They have a lot of great topics. One of them is Python, and I can click on that and see here's their course. It's free to take. They're pretty much lessons broken into little 5-minute sessions, and you can follow these along. And you can see our session is kind of along the same lines. They go through variables, data types, strings. They move on to collections and lists, and they have great depth of knowledge here that covers a lot more topics than this workshop alone. Educative is another great interactive online course. The other one is Solo Learn. These are bite-sized lessons, again, very short. And Solo Learn also has an app, and it has a lot of exercises. So maybe a good thing for you to be doing cross-learning or cross-training here is that you can follow the lessons on Scrimba and then go do the exercises, on Solo Learn, and see if the knowledge kind of transfers there. What I would highly encourage is practice. Programming language is just like a normal language that we speak. and you learn by practicing, you learn by saying, you learn by doing. It's like learning sports. You have to, you know, train that muscle to know what it's supposed to do. So repeat, repeat, repeat. And hacking data science is a great source for that. It's like a lot of these like mini challenges. So once you learn something, it's like, oh, let me see if I can do that challenge. And you can see other people's solutions. So if it's something that's a little bit more challenging than what you used to, which again, it's like learning sport, you learn by doing something that just challenges you a little bit. You can see, you know, the solutions and see how other people have done that and kind of go from there. There's also, Masha has also a video for SQL. SQL is another kind of really essential data engineering skill. We'll get to that later. But usually once people move, you know, you move while learning Python or the basic skills, Python, SQL, the basic skills, then in data engineering, you power up by these more kind of essential or larger data engineering tools or skills. And the thing here is I'm going to throw a bunch of resources or a bunch of different tools out here. The thing about these is you don't have to know all. Most data engineers really know or probably proficient in one of these tools. So you pick one or two, and you learn those, and that really gives you that boost on your resume. And these are tools like dbt, Airflow, Spark, or Snowflake. Again, you don't have to be proficient in all of these. Any one of these will probably be sufficient for getting a data engineering job. Amongst this, actually, my favorite is probably Airflow. Airflow and dbt are two by far the hottest tools out there right now. Airflow is like a data orchestration tool. It's based on Python. It's really easy to learn. There's a lot of great resources out there. dbt is more data modeling, SQL ELT tool, or SQL ELT tool. The great thing about dbt is it has a wealth and a really great self-tutorial on their website. So their documentation is just fantastic, and they have a tutorial themselves that it's just fantastic. So it's free to learn, pretty much free to use. Spark is another, it's more a traditional tool. It's a big data tool where it handles just massive amount of data. And Snowflake is a cloud-based like data warehousing tool that's gained popularity, or a lot of popularity, in the last 5 years. What I would highly recommend is, as we're going and learning these tools, nowadays everything's on the cloud. Learn these tools are available on the cloud. Learn how to use them on the cloud, because pretty much everything's moving to the cloud. And if we don't learn on the cloud, we're going to be probably not that useful pretty soon. Kaggle is another great resource. One of the challenges with data engineers is to find good data and real-world data sets to work with, and Kaggle provides that. We can go on Kaggle website actually right now, and you can see, you can go to the data set links, and there's just thousands and thousands of great data sets here. As you're working on sort of these challenges or things that you want to challenge yourself, this is a great way to pop up here and see, you know, if you can find a data set that intrigues you. They categorize everything. So data sets about exercises, data sets about finance, data sets about programming, data sets about text, social media. Whatever intrigues you, you can download data sets and work with it, make your own hypothesis. What do you want to do with that data? And this is a great resource to, again, get your hand on real world data sets. All right, I will stop talking again. We're going to do the third session of this workshop. The Path to Data Engineering Notebook is actually what I just kind of went through. Gives you a lot of those resources, lays out a really nice path to become a data engineer, like where to go learn Python, then move on, you know, to SQL skills from there, and kind of moving on to the different tools or skills that you have to learn to become a data engineer. We'll do a lesson on control flow. Control flow is in programming. It's like one of the basic building blocks. Programming is a lot about like making a flow chart and being able to kind of control the flow of the code or the execution. And the control flow lesson shows you the two main building blocks to build a flow chart in code. Little condition statements, little loops, stuff like that. And then the workshop ends with like making a game. It's like a coin toss game in Python. Again, if you haven't finished or got to this, don't worry, just start from where you left off. You can update the scoreboard as you gain scores. And yeah, again, I'm going to open this up to a vote. Would you guys rather to go back, break it out into rooms, or stay in the main room here? Your choice. I think we have actually just about 4 or 5 people, so we can break out into 2 rooms here. If you guys like to do that. Room 1, I think, has Henry and Lindsay in it. Room 3 has Danielle and M. Stephen, you're welcome to join probably room 1 if you like. What's your vote, guys? Breakout rooms, stay in main room. If we don't vote, I'm going to do the breakout rooms again. Anybody has a preference, you can speak up or say something in chat. All right, I see people are indifferential and different. We'll do the breakout rooms and then we'll come back here. Actually, let's do it quick because I want to leave room for Q&A. Let's do just a 10-minute session and then we'll come back here. All right, I'm going to open the rooms and then we'll meet back in the main room in 10 minutes. Feel free to go through at your own pace and engage in your room. Go off mute, talk to your teammates, etc. All right, I opened the rooms. Feel free to join and we'll meet here in about 13 minutes at 11:50. Lindsay, Stephen, feel free to join room 1. You can also hang around here. Either way, I'm probably gonna force you to join the breakout room, but again, feel free to come back here. All right, I will stop the recording here. And let me go on mute. And I will go on mute for the next 10 minutes. Hey folks, welcome back to the main room. Just gonna close out the slides and do a quick Q&A. Thanks for going through the workshop on your own and going through the breakout rooms. And there's recording. Yeah, welcome back to the main room. Thanks again for working through the workshop. And again, if you didn't get a chance to finish everything, that's quite all right. You know, you have the material, take it and do it on your own. I'm going to close out by going through a couple of slides really quick, and then we'll open it up for Q&A. Again, thanks for going through everything with us. I want to give a few little hacks or little advice about going out getting the first job, you know, as a data engineer. One of my big hacks is to prepare for a technical interview, especially if we are going through a self-learning path. People are going to put us through a technical interview to see if we have, you know, really the skills required to get a job. And in a technical interview, usually given a prompt, you have to solve it. Usually prompts within, you know, a few minutes. Usually the prompts are basic coding or exercises around using a tool. And there is the best way to do these is just to do exercises, you know, on our own. And I know I listed these resources before, but Hacking Data Science, SolarLearn, these are great tools that gives us those little prompts, coding prompts and challenges that we can go on our own and get ourselves ready for a technical interview. The other great resource out there that somebody brought up to me a couple months ago is Clash of Code. They've done a great job here really gamifying this kind of challenge mode. And if I click on this, it's a great site. It's a great site. They have these rooms that you can get into, and it's like a little coding challenge. So you get a prompt. There's 4 or 5 other people in the room, and you know you have some certain amount of time that you have to finish that coding challenge. The great thing is it's not really, you know, about like competing with others. Yes, it is a little bit, but the great thing is you get to interact with others and you get to see how other people solve those challenges. And there's a lot more to learn from seeing how someone else is doing it, even if they're doing it wrong, than, you know, just doing it on our own. So great site to follow and a great resource here. The other thing is, now I will give you some kind of little bit of advice on how to land that first job. It's always hardest to land that first job, and things get a lot easier from there. And what I would first recommend is that we go out there and try to build our resume, right? Try to put as much as we can on our resume in any exercises. And where are some places that we can easily get those kind of experiences that we can add to our resume? And I would say freelancing websites are a great way to do this. So there's Fiverr, there's Upwork, there's Freelancer. These sites, you know, people host like small little data engineering jobs, small little projects that we can get involved in. Usually maybe it's actually a chance to be a part of a bigger group, so you can actually work on larger projects and get the experience needed. And these are great. Or volunteering jobs. You know, there are a lot of nonprofits, maybe that post volunteer jobs, and you know, doing those and be able to add those on our resume, that really makes us to gain the experience, gain the confidence that, you know, we can go out and get that first job. The other big advice is to go towards data consulting firms or consulting firms. Consulting firms are firms that get projects, you know, from bigger companies, and then they hire consultants or resources that will do perform tasks. The nice thing is really their kind of goal aligns with our goal because they're looking to hire resources quick. They're usually looking to hire resources at the junior level and then pair them up with the resource level where they can, you know, grow their skills. So this is a great way for us, again, to get that first job, get those experiences. I was actually a consultant for most of the beginning of my career, and it really boosted my career. is the nice thing is that you would do a lot of different projects and a consultant, and again, gain those experiences very quickly. Last but not least, join LinkedIn, put that open to work kind of logo on your LinkedIn profile. Then a lot of headhunters actually reach out to you. Don't be scared to talk to headhunters. Their job is to find us a job. So when you add that open to work, logo, probably actually a lot of headhunters would just reach out to us themselves and talk to them, tell them about your skills, tell them what sort of job you're looking for, and their job again is to find us that job. I would say highly recommend that we pursue like a cloud certification. There's a lot of these cloud vendors now actually have a specific data engineering certification. I posted the links here. They set out a learning path for this certification. Very straightforward. You can go through the learning path, learn and prepare for these certifications. If you get one of these certification logos on your LinkedIn, then those headhunters will definitely be out to chase us. All right, that is it. I like to open it to Q&A. Before I do that, I mean, we're Data Science Academy. If you enjoyed this, we do have a boot camp that we teach data engineering. And this is it's about 5 to 6 month long project, 4 months of instructions and lessons and training, and then about 2 months of internship. So we actually offer an internship where we place you in a company that you can gain data engineering experience at the end. It's a great source. It's me and Alma. We're starting our next boot camp actually coming up in 2 weeks. It's on October 10th. We partner with Epicodus on this. That's a local boot camp, coding boot camp. It's a very well-established boot camp school here in Portland, Oregon. Go on our website. You have all the information. If you're interested in this, you can use the link to schedule a one-on-one time to talk with me, and we'll hopefully see you there. All right, let me stop and see if there are any questions. Please feel free to go off mute, share your thoughts. And one last thing, I am going to share the link for a quick feedback form. As I said, this is a new workshop format with these lessons. I would love to get your opinion on how that was and how that worked for you. So I just shared the feedback form below. It's just pretty much 3 questions. If you can, do those on your own time, that would be great. Questions, folks? Can you still hear me? Maybe not. Let me pause the recording as well. Well, if there are no questions, we can wrap up the webinar.
Thanks, Parv.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks a lot for joining in, guys. Again, I know it's a Saturday. Giving us 2 hours of your Saturday means a lot. Thank you so much. Hopefully you found it, worth your time. All right. I will close this out. Please don't forget the feedback form. That really helps us. Thank you so much. And I will send an email again with all the resources. But the Google Drive is open. All the resources are out there. So feel free to use that. All right. Take care, guys. Bye.
Thank you.